Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Care Talk. And today we have real heavyweight in our studio. Man, the myth, the legend, Aaron, aka Administrative Results.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Good to be here. How are you feeling after Finnish brutality?
Oh, I feel great. I didn't run Armored Division, nor did I run the Breacher, so I feel fine. I took a nice little nap, and I was like, all right, it's time to hit the gym. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I can say the same.
Well, you are simply just built different. That is all.
Yeah. Small stiffness this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like about the match?
I liked the stages a lot. I thought this year's stages were very well put together. A lot of fun detail, a lot of interesting nuances, and very good texture. So like the flames, the blood, the legs being broken, the splurting, the kinetic feedback, not just applying a tourniquet, but you can get direct feedback from that blood squirt. I love that you guys are utilizing bunker boxes like in the what drill was it with the rope climb? Yeah. I like that stuff. I like that stuff a lot. So to me, it was really fun. I thought you guys did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah. So you are running the match with the chest rig, not going all the way with the armor.
No. I like to preserve my lower back as much as I can until I'm old. So
yeah,
I just ran the Velocity system. I believe you guys partnered with Velocity Systems to bring this to market when your cool Finnish camo. I was running this bad boy and I liked it a lot. These fat straps, everything I needed on it. I mean, I was an open, so I was running a very light rig. So it was very comfy overall. It was a very comfy chest rig. I did a good job of exactly what I wanted for that event. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. So you were like pretty light loadout, 4 max, water bottle, candy bars.
Yeah. So essentially the loadout I had on it was, it's like a gaming loadout, essentially what I had. I just had the 4 mags up here. I had the pistol belt just because we had to have a handgun on us. In real life, I probably wouldn't run a pistol belt with this setup. But I had my rifle mag I would just keep on my pistol belt for safety and stuff like that. But yeah, essentially I just had mags on this. I had pistol mags and rifle mags. I didn't get to load it out as much as I wanted to if it was more of a real world tactical setting, right? You know what I mean? So getting to use it in this degree though was still, I feel like I got some good time on it, especially getting to running gun with it and making it nice and dirty too, and getting all the nitty gritty. So it was fun to do that.
Yeah. So no problem with the rig shaking or something. You complemented the shoulder straps.
Yeah, so the rig is very comfy. It wears very nicely. It has the shoulder straps. Looking at it, it has a nice cant to the back top strap. So if you have the lats going on, if you actually work out to some degree, you'll have some lats on your back. I think that's what it is, right? The right muscle group.
Yeah.
Asterisks. So you have that. So it fits nicely to your body once you get it all squared away, snugged down. Got the retainers for the mag so I don't lose anything during the match. It's not great for reloads, I'd say. If I was trying to do I had to do some under stress reloads in the match and dealing with tabs and weird positions when you're proned out and you got a funky angle. That always sucks in the sense of when you're trying to game a stage, but it's nice for retaining stuff to your body. So you don't often get to have your cake and eat it too. Do you guys have that in Finland? You get to eat your cake?
Yeah. We have.
Oh, you guys have cake?
We have cakes.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. In Finnish expression is that you can take the raisins out of the pulla. What's pulla? Yeah, it's kind of pastry.
I like this place. You guys got good taste and stuff.
Yeah. You have seen a lot of different gear and constantly pushing the envelope with all the videos, and also you train hard. So do you have some kind of basic guidelines or principles what you follow when you are kind of building the kit for yourself? Either it's based on chest rig or plate carrier.
Yeah, it's tough because I come from the law enforcement side of things, so I don't have a big military background like a lot of the other guys or you know what I mean? So when it comes to military-driven kit, I don't consider myself to have too much space to stand on, but I do like to try and, like you said, push the envelope with it as much as my understanding from the civilian side of things in the American gun culture. So building out the kit to meet the needs of what I would think of my requirements would be, right? Like having ammo, having different sustainment stuff on the rig, and also what I have access to as a civilian. So we don't really have great, smoke grenades or frags or tear gas. You can get those if you know some back channels, but it's not always super easy. So if I was going to load this out, of course, I have my rifle mags for your fighting gear, and then probably have to work with some sort of civilian smoke grenades, which they still work.
Yeah.
They'll still break up your sight line. So at least it's better than nothing. Of course, you have the IFAK pouch, which is pretty explanatory. Then we have the radio pouch, which I would, to some degree, the problem with a lot of them, like you can get better radios on the civilian market, but the problem is you have to also have other people that have those radios too. So, I mean, whatever radio you're running, at least you have that mag pouch to work with. And, of course, your GP pouch, I believe, right here. I don't know if I'd be running a handgun with a chest rig like this, just because ideally I'd be working with other guys that also have rifles. And if we truly need a handgun, it's like things are going really, really bad in that setting. If I'm rocking kit like this, you're so overt and you're so force ready that, to me, like a handgun wouldn't be on the priority list. Probably just some sort of e-tool or flashlight or whatever else I could fit in there. But yeah, then the GP pouch. So it's tough though, because it's like you guys have much more purpose-driven stuff with, especially your neighbors here, that you like. This gear is very, very vital. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, and of course the mission dictates the gear, and at least what I see, people try to find that one particular gear which solves all their problems.
Yeah, that's not how it works, right? This isn't like each piece of gear. It's a tool in the toolbox of what you would want to have. It's not like a one size shoe fits all. You have different things for different jobs, right? Yeah. In my head, and I don't know about you, I can see this. I don't know if it's like for those reconnaissance guys that aren't trying to do direct action. Stuff like that, where you're not trying to get into a firefight, but you're trying to do a mission that you have the option if you need to. Like that's how in my head. I don't know if I'm wrong in that aspect, so please correct me if I am. If I was expecting a firefight, I probably want to bring some more armor and some more mags and stuff like that, and maybe I would scale up the kit. So, but I like that you have the option, because in this kit, in the back, you have a Velcro. We were talking off camera. I wish there was more Velcro for integrating to your kit if you want to have armor, which would be nice. I noticed I was running a sword dump pouch on the front. I wish there was more Velcro. It managed to work out just fine, but it's a lack of real estate. So Velocity Systems, get on it.
Beef it up.
But I mean, it still did a good job. You have a lot of space on the inside. And one thing too, it's like, I'm sure I'm missing stuff that they designed because they spent a bunch of time on this, but you have a bunch of options for cable management, which is really cool. So you have a great retention for wires and cables, and hooking a mic up was super easy because of the nice MOLLE, and you have all this up here. So I think it's a really well thought out design. I mean, Velocity System is very tried and true. So overall, I thought it was a pretty nice rig.
Yeah, and it kind of what I already saw the photos. It looked pretty sexy.
It does look good.
Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah, and especially with your finished camo on here, it's even cooler.
Yeah. Regarding the people who are in Finland, it's really common to train with your full kit, because many of the people are reservist. We have our own discipline, applied reservist shooting. People go to the FTXs. They have their own kit. But I heard that, or seen in the internet, that there's some degree of controversy in the US that should people train with their kit or not, and the FOTs are thinking that no way. What's the real situation?
There's different bell curves, I would say. There are very different bell curves, because realistically in the US, what we have to worry about is probably going to be more so crime. If there was a outside force or a tyrannical setting, then you would scale up your gear and you'd have to meet the threat accordingly, but then that goes into your mission set. But for a lot of us, like, we focus on, and I think where that comes from is like, don't train your gear at all, is like very much like the bro vet community, where they'll say, hey, you don't need that, but it's like, you don't need that until you do, right? So I can see that. And realistically though, I mean, I fully believe in training in full kit. I fully think it's awesome. I think you should do it, because you will learn a lot about yourself. You will learn a lot about your fitness, what works, what's not going to work. If you can do force on force in it, I think that's also a great option. I also think like training without any kit on. Like for Americans, I do a lot of everyday carry stuff where it's like I wear what I'm wearing now and I go out and I work my handgun drills because it's like I maybe worry about an active shooter or crime. I mean, technically they're the same thing legally. Well, yeah, legally. But it's all just different. Like training is training, and I think if you can do as much of it as you can, then why not? Especially in full kit. Like to me, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, and especially if you have a new piece of kit, like I think it's very important to try it out as varied environments as possible. There was a good example from my setup from Finnish Brutality. I had our new assaulter panel in my plate carrier, and I had the bolt cutters there, but that was the first time I ran the setup, and on the first stage, first shots when I went prone, I got the bolt cutters on my neck.
instant user feedback. Yeah, that's a great aspect.
So if you have the kit and you're setting it up, please try it out before any major event you're attending or the situation requires.
I don't know what your guys' culture like here in Finland is with it, but airsoft I found is a great tool for testing certain pieces of kit out. Growing up when I was younger, getting into gun culture, it was very much not respected, and I think there's been a little bit of cultural shift to it because it's like you can rock all this modern kit you want to rock, you can try out different things. Yes, there's going to be very much differences that you have to separate from reality. But at least as far as gear goes, you can really try some things out. And as far as like you trying out with your bolt cutters, you got that instant feedback in the match setting. You can try this stuff out in a match too. It's really, I love getting to see how kit is actually going to work. Because in your head, you may think, oh, I'm squared away. I'm good to go. But like we were talking also, the kit does not make the man makes the kit. So
yeah. Awesome. And that wisdom is a good place to stop. So have a kit, but make sure that you remember to run, shoot, and lift.
Good advice. Great advice, especially from the action hero himself.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.